I love you, Eve. You make me hurt you. I'm not holding back.
My first impressions of playing Invincible Versus was a huge moment for me. Oh yeah. I've had a lot of really cool experiences. I've been on sets and watched my comics get turned into TV shows. But to see the characters of Invincible in a fighting game, I don't know, it was so magical and so exciting. I cried. I think one of the key elements to Invincible, be it the comic or the show, is the insane and absolutely brutal fights. It's kind of our marquee thing, and we do these absolutely epic battles that you experience on your couch that hopefully are blowing you away. But this game is really the first time that you can actually experience these and feel them as you're living them. And to be honest, some of the fights in the game can get kind of more intense than the things that we've been able to accomplish in the show, which is really exciting for me.
It's something that dials up the intensity of action, the intensity of violence, the intensity of combat. And to me, one of the most impactful things in a fighting game is your first impression. And that's the thing that my brain always goes to. Like when you press buttons, when you do stuff, what is the response?
Dude, this big dude. Oh my God, that assist is crazy.
And yeah, watching a character, a 3v3 tag fighter with so much gore, that's like the first thing that was like, wow, this is different. This is something I've never seen before.
Like most fighting games nowadays, you don't have the opportunity to create something completely new, right? Most of these fighting games that exist, they're very high in the iterative number of whatever their series is. And if you deviate from that too much, the fan base kind of revolts against you. They're like, dude, that's not my same game that I'm growing up liking. But in this opportunity we have, we can do whatever we want, right?
I think what the FGC is looking for kind of is similar to what other people are looking for. It's just like, give me something new. Give me something I haven't seen before. Especially people that are fans of Invincible, they're gonna be like, oh wow, I've never seen it in this light.
I am ending you. I see it all now. Every single molecule.
I'm the narrative director on the project. That means that it's my responsibility to make sure that this game is a kick-ass story, that all the characters sort of shine through, feel authentic to the Invincible universe.
Cower before me, half-breed. You'll regret being on a full-blood Viltrumite.
There's a lot of fighting and a lot of matchup that are really cool. It really works as a fighting game, but I think the coolest thing about it is that there's a lot of matchups that never really occurred in the comic or the television show, and you actually get to see those in a fighting game, which is really exciting to me.
Building this game, it was critical to be authentic to the IP. So when you take a character from the show or for the comics, and you examine their personality, like the way that they move, the way they react to others, you look at what are the opportunities where I can translate that and really amplify it. A lot of times what we'll do is we'll break down scenes, we'll look at would they move like that? Does Mark have that ability? Would he do that thing? How would he respond to someone if they defeated one of his teammates? How would he introduce himself to someone new that he's never met before? Or someone he's quite familiar with, who he thinks is, downright fucking evil? Sorry for the F-bomb.
One of the things that I found it most challenging in terms of figuring out our characters and environments is how we make them feel unique. We do want the characters to have the same sort of body type, the same overall proportions, the same silhouette. But then at that point, when you get to that baseline, it's a question of how do I build upon it? How do I add those secondary, tertiary details from the rips in the clothes to the blood stains to the smaller details in the hair and the facial features? We want it to feel like Mark through and through. And that's exactly why it's exciting, because it's a challenge.
Skybound is a really hands-on company, and it just adds a level of authenticity that I think is kind of unparalleled.
So we're still doing some polish on it, but that's probably gonna be one of the bigger ones that we do. We really wanted to stand out with.
That's amazing.
I got the Skybound, and I was catching up with Mike Willett, and I just said, what was the happiest time in your career? And he said, working on Killer Instinct, Double Helix Games, making a fighter with the most talented people we know.
I said, hey, Patrick, I want to start another studio. And I want to work on combat, fighting games, things that we love, things that are part of our DNA.
And he's like, that's my dream. That's what I want to do.
We decided to call the studio Quarter Up. it pays homage to an era that we came from, like the arcade era. But it's really a statement that says, like, we're here and we're up for the challenge. We got next.
I've been working with Mike Willett, our EP. I just watched season 1 of Invincible because he had mentioned, maybe you should watch this. And I was like, the characters are there. They're amazing characters. They're characters that are going to really shine in a fight game. And so for us, that was a lot of the hard work is kind of, that part has been done already with the IP. Now we just need to make it. And so we started reaching out to everybody.
Essentially, when Mike Willett calls, I pick up the phone. He's a guy that I love working with. I was aware of Invincible. I was like, oh my God, what don't they have? Kaiju, superheroes, monsters, an elephant man. I mean, it's just like throw a rock, you're gonna hit something amazing. So it's good problems to have, right?
So when Dave and Mike reached out to me, I thought it was a pipe dream at first, but I'm like, oh really? Like, is that a real thing? And I'm like, I am very much interested. Like, I am super down, like, I'm in, let's fucking go. And then that doubled when they told me the project, Invincible, as a fighting game. And I'm like, oh my God, because immediately as soon as they said those words in that sequence, like, I just started thinking of what we could do.
Learning that all the same folks that put together one of the most impossible games, now one of the most well-received fighting games of all time, is working on another fighting game, it's kind of like a dream come true. The crew that put together Killer Instinct, that's now working on Invincible, is pretty much responsible for approaching fighting games with a different perspective, with something that wanted to give agency to players that were on defense and offense, to have you have a level of mind games beyond just what's going on in that one specific moment. They want you to think of what happened before and what happened after a lot. That's actually in this game too. In a 3v3 game, you sort of like can touch the opponent once and they're toast, man. It's just, it's kaputski for that character. I really dig the fact that there's so much defense and offensive options in this game. But the commitment to having a full 3v3 tag fighter from, a developer that hasn't done that before leads me to hope there's going to be a whole bunch of new concepts and things we haven't seen.
The process of building this team, it's been fun, but it wasn't just getting a bunch of all the old heads back together again. It's finding new blood, people that either are tied to the FGC or hyper talented and really passionate about their work and what they do and about the IP.
Fan art is actually how I got this gig. As an artist, I'm always gravitate towards characters that I find interesting. My relationship with Invincible was pretty much love at first sight, both in terms of the characters, but also just the animated sequences, storytelling, the world, everything just felt super unique. And one of the things I'm most excited about this role is the opportunity to take these established characters that you've seen in the comic and you've seen in the show and find a way to make them feel like an inherent part of the game that we're creating without jeopardizing what made them so great to begin with.
I've been a fan of Invincible since I was, young. Like, not that I'm old now, but I've been a fan of Invincible forever. And I've been reading these comics like since the beginning, and I just know them like the back of my hand. And so there's all these like little tidbits and things that I'll pick up on that you might not even ever think about. And so a lot of times people are coming to me with questions like, where Mark can bleed from? Like, does Mark bruise? How much blood can we have? Like, where is that blood coming from? It's usually the orifices. It's always the orifices.
Mark, action. Is that right? I don't know. Never got to do that before. I've done a lot of weird stuff, but not that. How I got involved with Invincible Versus is a pretty crazy story.
Mike here, Dave, also with Dave, and we're going to be doing an FGC very first look with Rip. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Rip is in the house.
I got invited over to Mike's house, like it wasn't like a studio or something. So I go over to his house, I knock on the door, he opens it up, I walk in, they have a TV set up there, and it just says Invincible on. I was like, oh, damn, we're doing Invincible.
Have a seat, dude.
Oh my God. I saw it super duper early. Like, you have to understand, it did not look anything like it looks now. So originally when I first played it, there was only 2 characters. It was just Mark and Eve. And it was supposed to be a tag fighter, 3-on-3. And then I remember I went home and I came back for the next test and I was like, I had the shower thought where I was like, you guys are the KI devs. Why don't you guys bring some of KI into a tag fighter? Because that's never been done. So then the next one I get a DM from Mike Willett. He's like, this could work. He's like, you should apply.
There's a little blood again. Which is like so missing in all the team fighting games in general.
I'll take a sip of water when I goddamn feel like I need to take a sip of water. I don't need you directing me on when I take a sip of water. I think this is just the biggest and best Invincible game that we've ever done. This is a huge fighting game that has a ton of really complex work being put into it to make it the biggest and best Invincible game ever.
So we're trying to put all of what we got into the game. Every dollar gets spent into making the game better. We love the world that's been created by Robert, Corey, and Ryan. And everyone understands the mission, like what we're trying to do. And just bringing their A game, bringing their talent, like every day. We want this to be a tournament quality game that's played for years and years to come. So the way that we look at it is it has to have compelling systems and gameplay and hype moments. It has to have art that is not just evocative of the IP, but will stand the test of time on its own. When the FGC gets their hands on the game, what I hope happens is they get a ton of excitement. They get to see familiar faces that they want to dig into. And critically, I hope they go, oh, I want to lab this game. I want to lab this game for hours. That would make me so happy. It's not just the hype and excitement from like doing big combos or the brutality, but for them to really want to dig into the systems that are there. Because I think that's what's going to keep them there for the long haul.
Oh, that was sick. That was sick.
And I don't mean just satisfied or like, oh, that's great. It's like, no, it's got to be fantastic. It's got to blow people's socks off.
Just fucking die!